Right then, welcome back, and today we're going to do race 4 in our little Moto 3 season on MotoGP 22. But before we do, there's been some upgrades, we've had some contract offers, there's new staff, and in all honesty, I don't really have a clue what I'm doing with it. I just wait until it says things are happening and then I'm happy with it. I'm a little bit confused by the user interface. It's not the friendliest thing in the world. Staff that are already assigned to a job, you can reassign staff to a different job, but it doesn't tell you they're already doing a job. Yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. And without wanting to give too much away, they've spent more money on an interface that's not necessarily needed and not enough money on developing the actual game. Now, I get that Ride 4 and MotoGP 22 are two completely different games, but before we talk about that, I'm probably going to accept the MV Agusta offer for the Moto 2 team next year. It's only got a few weeks left before it expires, but anyway, we've upped the difficulty to 95%, and as I was saying, I think the times in Moto 3 and to a certain extent the races are pre-scripted. What do I mean by pre-scripted? It doesn't matter how hard you ride, doesn't matter what you do, they want to ride on a certain line, and I don't mean the racing line. If you're on the racing line and you try to move them off the racing line to go past them, they will just ride through you, they'll just knock you off. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to it. Never really been to this track in a game before, cars, bikes, anything at all. I've seen it on the telly, rough idea of where it goes, very rough, but I was struggling with the brakes. I was getting loads and loads of problems with the front end. Riding on the curbs apparently just spits you straight off. The AI, just absolute arseholes. This is what I mean. There you go, there's a touch, there'll be another touch in a minute, there's another touch, there's another touch, there's another touch. It's just not going to happen. I get on Ride 4, they're a pain in the arse, they want to run different lines and corner speeds and everything else, but 99 times out of 100 they'll move out of the way. I mean, the braking, if anyone knows how, without using a rider aid, how I can stop that happening, then let me know in the comments, because it's really starting to annoy me. I get on the brakes and it's just standing the back wheel straight up in the air. But anyway, the AI are arseholes. The track, it's okay. The bike apparently will wheelie no matter how fast you're going. We hit a curb later on. Free practice 1, we ended up miles off. We were down his 17th or something stupid. Free practice 2, again, just struggling with the brakes. And you get into the braking zone, you knock it down a few gears, and the bike, it's almost like the braking pressure just vanishes. I ended up on I think it was a soft front and a hard rear, might have been a medium rear. Free practice 2 was cloudy, which for some reason I seem to prefer, and we did a 47.6. The times were getting faster and faster and faster. Free practice 3, we did a 47.2. Again, that was on a soft front and a hard rear. Now, what I should have done is run that combination in the race, or maybe run a medium front and a hard rear, and I didn't. I went hard front, soft rear in it, or medium rear, and it just went absolutely wrong. Q2, we got straight through to Q2. Still struggling with the brakes. I've tried mucking about with a preload and spring rate, and it just didn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. I think it's probably a me problem rather than a setup problem, although again, if you know, let me know. And we stuck in a fairly decent lap. I didn't like the last third of the lap, these really fast right-handers. The bike, the controls just aren't nuanced enough, I don't think, to have this level of sort of bike game without giving you the controls to do it. Ride 4 is a bit of a giggle. This is about absolute precision, and I don't think the physics model is good enough to do that, which I think they spent more money making nice menus and pretty graphics and having mechanics behind the game. We qualified in second, by the way, 0.02 off, which is batting way above my average on this track, on this bike. But yeah, they spent more money developing menus and mucking about. But yeah, pre-programmed AI. So I'm in first. We're running at about the right pace. The AI go up the inside. Happy with that? Not a problem. What annoys me is this one touch. Well, I'm there. You're not going to purposely ram into another rider. Look at the riders leaning towards each other as well. Like, no. So on the brakes, up the inside. Yeah, we run it a tiny touch deep. Fair enough. It's the Danny Pedrosa hairpin. Plenty of people run wide. There's another touch. Hands are waving, which is not going to happen. There's another touch there. There'll be another touch in a minute. All right. Then apparently his Moto 3 bike is faster than light. Because we're just sticking it straight up the inside of people, so momentum accounts for nothing. There's another touch, another touch, another touch. He wants to be on the racing line, but I'm there, but it doesn't matter, they'll just ride through you. There you go, there's even more of that nitrous that apparently Moto 3 bikes are fitted with. Yes, I'm running Power Map 2, but it's not going to take 40 horsepower away from the bike, is it? Again, he's on the grass, on the inside of the curb, doesn't fall off, it's not a problem. And again, go on, yeah, that's an accident and hospital for pretty much anyone else. We're waving hands, and then watch this. Not only is he late on the brakes, apparently he's got the best front tyre in the world. He runs wide, but then again, get ready because you're about to see some more nitrous up the back straight whilst he closes the gap. It's just, there you go. I mean, how fast is that Moto 3 bike? But anyway, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and I was quite happy with it. You just forewarned his forearm and all that bollocks, but basically it carried on, and I thought, well, I just need to go a bit quicker. Into the final hairpin again. There you go. I'll just try and stick it up the inside and run a bit quicker, but I just, it's winding me right up. This is not the final iteration of the race, which we'll come on to in a little while. But yeah, I decided that we maybe need to go a bit quicker. The current fastest lap of the race is a 47.4. We've just done a 47.7 and a 47.9. So we're on pace, we're there or thereabouts. And I was more than happy to stick behind the leader and just take my opportunity when he came, and I thought, I'm going to have him here. So I run slightly wider on the entrance to 4, which means I can run right around the outside, stick it up the inside. The bike's clearly on the inside, it's obvious it's there, and they just turn straight across you. Yeah, it's just unnecessary, and that happened 8, 9, 10 times. If I'm doing a race and I make a mess of it, then I'll live with it and we'll get back on and we'll race and we'll finish where we finish. What I can't abide is the AI knocking us off and just going, oh well, I'll just accept it. No. This race took 4 hours. But anyway, we finally got a version where the mistake that got made was my own. Which is fine, it is what it is. If my own limitations cause me to finish in wherever I finished, then so be it. But like I said, I can't swallow the pre-programmed AI who want to run a certain lap time at a certain point in the race, knocking me off and just going, oh well. Yeah, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, so we'll just leave that where it lies. But yeah, we got away. We had a pace advantage, we absolutely did. I got the gap up to 3 and a bit seconds, which in a Moto 2 race should be more than enough. It's what we did at Mandalika. There you go, there's a wheelie, 160 kilometers an hour, and it's just sending itself vertical because it has so much power. But yeah, braking, I know that corner's slightly downhill, although it doesn't look it on the game. I know people overshoot. I get the track struggles in hot temperatures, there's not a massive amount of grip in it. But the only person that seemed to be struggling was me. The AI had the stickiest tyres possible. They were all running power level 3 for the whole race. Okay, there are development branches to do within the game, but have they saved money on Moto 3 and Moto 2 just to pump everything into MotoGP? Possibly, but we won't know until we get there. And we're not there yet, so we're going to whinge about it because I'm British and that's what we do. We like to whinge. But again, the curbs apparently are brick end deep, because as soon as you get on the curbs it's firing you off and doing other bits and bobs. Yet you watch this race on the telly, which I did incidentally yesterday. I had a good look on BT Sport and watched the race, and the Moto 3 bikes are all over the curb. But anyway, Lap 1, we got a 1.9 second lead. We have, like I said, an abundance of pace. We've dragged that out to 3.5 seconds, and lap 2 into lap 3. We're doing alright. 148.2, yeah, alright, it's not light speed. It's not the fastest laps in the race, but we've upped it to 95%. We're only on race 4, so the learning curve is quite steep. And you know what? It was going alright. Tyres were fine, we weren't running out. Lap 6, I made a bit of a Horlicks. I mean, personally, I think that should be a track limits warning, but the game again is massively inconsistent in what it's doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. Lap 7, I was flicking up and down the power, so into the last corner I was flicking up to power level 3, and then down the back straight I was flicking to power level 2, just to manage the fuel loads. Still struggling a little bit with the brakes in here, but it was something that I knew it was going to do it, so I'd get on the brakes a bit earlier and just use the gearbox. And this is where it all went wrong. Lap 8. Why does this bike spit me off? I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. It just decides to start bucking and weaving. It's a hard front tyre, it's not overheated. I've not gone in and hit the brakes any later than I normally would. And we got back on and we ended up in 5th. The rear tyre apparently has been in the sun for a couple of days because it's hotter than an absolute hot thing. And apparently we've used a load of fuel because we weren't that low on fuel when we crashed. But yeah, and that's where we ended up, 5th. Not a bad result. Do I like the track? No. Do I like the AI? No. Do I like Moto 3 bikes? No, not really. Again, 0.4 of a second gap coming out that corner. Watch this for a braking effort from the AI. Go on, get that right up, yeah. And there's a right train of pain behind us as well. We had 2 seconds on them with a couple of laps left, but I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, there you go. Qualified second, leading the race, crashed, finished 5th. Not great, but it is what it is. We just have to swallow it. It was my mistake. Well, I say it was my mistake. It was the AI's mistake. For some reason, the inconsistent shitness of the yeah, no, the physics engine. The shitness of the physics engine. It's just not great. I still don't think buying it was the greatest thing I've ever done, but I've tried it. I don't like it. It is what it is. We'll keep going with it. Only 2/3 of a Moto 2 season and a whole MotoGP season to go. Yay, happy days. But there you go. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. You're all absolute legends. And if you are playing this and you are struggling with it and you found some workarounds, let me know, because at the minute, every time I play it, well, I just end up turning it off and playing SnowRunner, which I've got a load of trucks stuck in the ice on that as well, so I'm just having a bad time of it. But hey ho, it is what it is, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and fingers crossed, I will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, peace.